Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. Today we're looking at the Department of Health with cleanup and disposal. So what happens when mercury or anything else gets spilled? Well, it can get into waterways, it can get into different places like groundwater, it can also get into the air. So this is a good idea to do once mercury gets into the environment or is spilled. And here's what you need to know if it does. So when mercury spills, it must be cleaned up quickly and completely to minimize exposure to toxic mercury vapors. Mercury's toxicity, persistence, and widespread use make proper disposal and recycling essential. So it's not something you can wait on and say, well, I spilled mercury, I'll come back in the next day, in the next week, or in the next month and wait it out. It's something that needs to be handled very, very quickly. Why? Because toxicity can get into various water bodies, can get into the air, and it can cause issues, especially for young children. When mercury spills, don't spread it. Never use a vacuum cleaner, mop, or broom to clean it up. Don't walk through the spilled area. Take children and pets to another room. Leave all items, clothing, footwear that came into contact with the spilled mercury in affected room if possible, and close the door to keep the vapor from spreading. You can actually find more here about cleaning up a small mercury spill. And one thing to note is if the amount of mercury spilled is more than the size of a green pea, then you should ask a trained professional about cleanup options. So if it is a large amount of mercury, then this is definitely something you want to consult. You want to consult an expert about getting that cleaned up. And you want to do that, again, relatively quickly. This is not something to wait on, and this is not something to procrastinate on. If mercury spill occurs, call the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Spills Hotline as well. So you can also find more resources, what to do, watch out for mercury, get help if it spills, some ideas to do if mercury spills in the household, how to handle broken fluorescent lamps, and mercury quick facts, cleaning up mercury spills in your house. These are ones that we're going to go over, but in general, a few things to keep in mind. Mercury can be highly toxic. As we know, it can be a neurotoxin. This is a dangerous heavy metal. It's like lead. So once a spill happens, you want to address it quickly. If it's a bigger spill, you also want to consult a professional. You want to consult someone who knows what they're doing and is able to handle mercury spills. And you also have the hotline here. And with these spills, there's the potential for mercury to get into water, mix with the bacteria and become methylmercury, affect fish, affect wildlife, and then all that eventually ends up back to you. That's why it's always a good idea to make sure you clean up and dispose of mercury as quick as possible. But if you fail to do so, some does get into a water body or get in the surrounding area, it's always a good idea to periodically test your water to make sure that there's no levels of mercury in it.